Nobody tells you how caregiving affects a marriage. You hear a lot about the stress, the appointments, the exhaustion, but what you don't hear is how the person sleeping beside you slowly becomes someone else, or how you become someone else too. And the marriage you once knew, it doesn't just get harder, it becomes almost unrecognizable. Hi, I'm 𝗖𝗵𝗵𝗶𝗴𝗃𝗶𝗴𝗏. My wife Sonia was diagnosed with Alzheimer's in January 2020 at the age of 65. I've seen too many caregivers suffer physically, emotionally, and mentally, oftentimes more than the loved ones they care for. I was determined not to let this disease take me down, and I found a way to cope. Now I help other caregivers do the same. We'd been married for decades. We'd raised a family, traveled, laughed, fought, made up, built a life together. We were a team, and when I say that, I don't mean we just divided the chores. I mean we leaned on each other emotionally, made decisions together, and kept each other grounded. And then the diagnosis came. And slowly, almost invisibly at first, the foundation of that partnership began to shift. At first it was little things. She'd forget a word or repeat a story. Nothing major. We laughed about it. But then she started getting lost in conversations. She'd forget where we were going or how to do things she used to do with ease. And somewhere along the way, I realized I wasn't just her husband anymore. I had become her caregiver. And I don't mean I was helping out a little. I mean I'd become responsible for everything. Her safety, her medication, her meals, her bathing, her hygiene, her emotional stability, her dignity. The balance in our relationship disappeared almost overnight, and that shift didn't just change our routines, it changed the core of our marriage. We went from equals to dependent and provider, from intimacy to supervision, from connection to logistics. There were days when I looked at her and missed her while she was sitting right next to me. And I'll be honest, there were moments when I felt more like her parent than her partner. And that brought up guilt and grief and a kind of loneliness it's hard to describe unless you've lived it. Nobody prepares you for the grief that comes before the goodbye, because your partner, the one who used to laugh at your jokes, the one who used to reach for your hand without thinking, the one who knew your rhythms and moods better than anyone, is slowly fading. But they're still here, and so are you. And that's the strangest, hardest part. I had to learn how to let go of the marriage I had while still showing up for the person I loved. Even though the relationship didn't look or feel the same, my commitment had to grow stronger. Not out of obligation, but out of a deeper kind of love. One that had to adapt. One that had to stretch past pain, past memory, past the familiar. And I want to share a few things that helped me survive and in some ways rebuild our marriage into something new. First, I had to allow myself to grieve. Not in a one-time, get it over with kind of way, but as an ongoing process. I had to grieve the loss of our conversations, the loss of inside jokes, the loss of making plans together, the loss of mutual decision-making. I had to stop pretending everything was fine and let myself feel the sadness, because denying it only made it harder. Second, I had to redefine what intimacy meant. Our physical connection changed. Our emotional connection changed. But I realized that intimacy could still exist in a shared glance, in a quiet moment of brushing her hair, in playing music we used to love, in whispering, "I love you," even when I wasn't sure she understood. And finally, I had to allow the marriage to change. I had to stop clinging to what it used to be and start finding moments of beauty in what it had become. That's actually why I created the Caregiver Mastery System. Because I didn't want other spouses, other partners to feel as lost as I did. It's a step-by-step emotional roadmap, not for fixing your loved one, but for finding peace in the middle of the storm. Our marriage today looks nothing like it did 10 years ago, but there's still love. There's still connection. It just comes through different channels. It's quieter now, simpler, but in some ways it's deeper because it's based not on shared memory, but on presence, on patience, on compassion. If you're in this situation, if you're caring for your spouse or partner, I want you to know something. Your grief is valid, your exhaustion is real, and your love still matters, even when it doesn't look like it used to. Caregiving will change your marriage. That's the truth. But with the right mindset and support, it doesn't have to destroy it. It might not be the marriage you planned, but it can still be a relationship rooted in meaning, in service, and in a kind of love that goes beyond words. So here's my invitation to you. Visit caregivermasterysystem.com. Let me show you how to stop drowning in stress and guilt and start reclaiming some peace, even just a little, even just for you. And before I go, I'd love to hear from you. How has caregiving changed your marriage or relationship? Drop your experience in the comments. I read every one. If you're feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, or like you're losing yourself in caregiving, you're not alone. That's exactly why I created the Caregiver Mastery System, a step-by-step emotional roadmap to help you manage stress, anger, and burnout so you can care for your loved one without sacrificing yourself in the process. Inside, you'll discover how to say yes to yourself without guilt, reduce overwhelm, and reclaim peace, even in the hardest moments. I call this Heaven Island, a place of peace, clarity, and deep acceptance, where you can show up for the one you love without losing who you are. And just so you know, this isn't some time-consuming program. I didn't create it to add more to your plate. I built it to take the weight off your shoulders. The lessons are short, practical, and easy to follow. And if you apply what I teach, even for just a few minutes a day, I guarantee you'll start to feel a real difference in 2 to 3 weeks. Click the link below or visit caregivermasterysystem.com to get started today. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. I post new caregiver support videos every Monday and Thursday. And if this message spoke to you, use the hashtag #CaregiverMastery so others can find the support they need too. You're not alone. Let's get through this together.